Hello, my name is Tim, my company is Sports and Touring, and it is my delight to introduce you to this beautiful Mazda MX-5 Sport Tech NAV 2 litre. The Mazda MX-5 is without question a modern classic. It's a car which, from a fabulous initial concept, which left the drawing board and went into production as the Mark I many years ago, has been refined and developed through the Mark II and on to the Mark III, which some purists will argue is the epitome of the MX-5. It's the last one with hydraulic steering, which some argue rather spoils the handling of the Mark IV. It's the last one with the truly classical MX-5 shape before that shape was refined for the Mark IV. And I have to say, having driven both the Mark III and Mark IV routinely and at length, I can absolutely see why people hail the Mark III for its classic status. And then, having spoken very warmly, and that's easy to do, about the Mark III MX-5, let's look at this one. And we are so delighted when we find a Mark III like this. This is a super low mileage car. It has not yet clocked through 25,000 miles. It's in crystal white pearlescent, which looks stunning and lustrous and bright and deep and shiny. It's sitting on the 7-spoke Mazda sport wheels, 17-inch alloy wheels, which have just been freshly refurbished with a factory process into shadow chrome, and they look just gorgeous. All 4 tyres are brand new Kumo Extra PS71 tyres, which are renowned for their grip, economy, quietness, and sure-footed road holding. The car is in technically superb condition. It's flown through our tests without any issues. It looks great, it functions correctly, and it drives superbly, as any Mark III MX-5 does. Let's take a look inside. With 2 remote key fobs and the book pack, and unlocking, we can open the door and take a look at the cockpit. Starting with the door card, everything is in great order. The center console, the dashboard, steering wheel, instrument binnacle, all truly fabulous. The driver's seat is almost completely factory fresh. There's no dimpling there on the seat base where you occasionally see it. The passenger seat likewise, we'll have a look round that side in a moment or two. And sitting down into the MX-5, it's a comfortable enclosing space here. It's definitely a driver's car. The equipment is laid out logically, the ergonomics are great. It's very practical too. We'll take a look around at that. So behind my shoulder there, we've got the wind deflector, which keeps the noise down when the roof is down. We've got a very useful center stowage there with the petrol cap release. The armrest here moves back to reveal 2 cup holders. We've got the electric window controls, of course, and then this beautiful gearbox. 6-speed, short throw. It's precise, it's accurate. You don't fluff a gear change in an MX-5 because the gate is so clear and crisp and easy to use. Manual handbrake, of course, the preferred option for performance driving. And then we've got the heated seats and air conditioning and climate control there. And this being a Sport Tech NAV 2013 car, it has the TomTom Hi-Fi with TomTom navigation built in. Over on the steering wheel, we've got controls for the audio system on the left-hand side and for the cruise control on the right-hand side. And there is that lovely instrument binnacle with the big clear rev counter and speedometer, and in between them, to tell you that this is a real sports car, the oil pressure gauge, so that you can monitor the performance of the engine at all times. It really is a superb place to sit, and that's before you start the engine and get underway and feel how beautifully this car connects driver through the machine to the road. It's a communicative car. The steering is so precise and perfectly geared. The pedals are perfectly set up for heel and toe driving. The clutch is sharp and not heavy, and the throttle response is agile too. It's not by any means the fastest sports car on the road, but that's not the point. The point is that it exhibits fabulous handling. It just feels so good to drive. It really is a very rewarding machine indeed. And looking at this example in particular, we can see almost no signs whatsoever that this is not a factory fresh car. No wear on the steering wheel, for example. No marks on the steering wheel, no marks on the dashboard. It really is in truly fabulous order. If you've seen a few of our videos about convertible cars, you may know that I've got some quite fixed views about convertible roofs. They need to be simple, reliable and quick to operate, and I'm pleased to say that Mazda are past masters at this game. Opening the MX-5 roof is very, very simple. Release the latch up there and press the open button here. The windows go down slightly, the cover moves up from the stowage compartment where the roof disappears, the roof goes down into its stowage, the cover moves back into place, and in only a very few seconds you are ready to go driving again. Conversely, if you're driving with the roof down and you see a rain shower approaching you, it's a very quick process indeed to put the roof back up. Just press the button to close the roof, the windows go down again, the cover moves off the stowage compartment, the roof powers itself into place, the stowage compartment cover behind me goes back down, and then we move the latch into the locked position and put the windows up, and the process once again is done in a few seconds. Super reliable, very simple and very quick to operate. A lot of convertibles fold the roof away in a manner that really affects the boot space. But when they designed the MX-5, Mazda decided that they wanted a decent sized boot for a two-seat car, and that's what they achieved. 150 litres, it's deep, it's broad, it extends out behind the rear wheel arches, and there is plenty of room in that boot for your weekly shopping or for everything you need for a trip away. I've seen a lovely mother and daughter on Facebook going camping in their MX-5, and the amount of kit that they got into this little car for their camping trip around France was amazing, illustrating that this is a very practical car. You know, this is a low mileage example which I'm sure will end up as an enthusiast's car, but if you needed it as a daily driver, you'll have no problem at all living with an MX-5. And again, in the boot there, the carpet is clean and fresh, it's unmarked, there haven't been any spills, there's not been any water ingress. Just down there you can probably see in the shade the tool roll. Mazda give you a lovely little tool roll with an MX-5, and they've continued that tradition throughout the life of the car. It really is a very beautiful example indeed. Coming around to the passenger side of the car, and I'll point out, by the way, the polished chrome door handles, which are a feature of the Sporttech NAV 2 litre. And again, we can see a perfect door card. We can see the scuff plate is in fabulous order. The carpet is looking new, and this seat, I suspect, has very seldom seen human occupation. It's unblemished, unmarked, in fabulous condition. It is such a pleasure when we find an MX-5 like this, which we can offer in such a great condition. Under the bonnet, and there is Mazda's 2-litre power plant. It's a 4-cylinder inline engine, normally aspirated, so it's not breathing through a supercharger or turbocharger, and it's working really not very hard at all, producing only 160 horsepower. That's one of the reasons that these are such reliable engines. And looking around the engine compartment, again, it is such a pleasure to find a car in this condition. Everything is very clean. It's clearly been looked after by an enthusiast owner. There are no signs of anything amiss at all. A fabulous example, which I dare say you could easily take to a car club meeting or a concourse event and display very proudly indeed. So thank you very much indeed for watching. It's been a great pleasure to show you this amazing MX-5. We're Sports and Touring. We're just outside Andover in Hampshire. We're open 7 days a week by appointment only. You're very welcome to email, telephone or WhatsApp us with any inquiries. And if you'd like to see the Google Drive for the folder where we've got high resolution copies of photos which you can zoom in on and PDF copies of documents, we'll send you a link to that as well. If you've got a vehicle you need to dispose of, we'll give you frank and honest advice about the best way to achieve the maximum value with the minimum inconvenience, whether it's by part exchange, selling privately or what have you. And if you'd like to chat about finance, we can do that too. We're authorised and regulated by the FCA. Do please take a few moments to read our reviews in Auto Trader. I am very proud indeed about how our previous customers speak about us. And I will close by saying I look forward to seeing you very soon.